this fast because this is emotional. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most merciful and mercy-giving. It is from God we come, and it is to God we return. I was 19 years old when I met Saladin in 1972. We met on the steps of the Philadelphia office of the former political prisoner and COINTELPRO victim, Dr. Muhammad Ahmed. I would go on to work with and learn from and travel with Salah in Philly over the next 8 years in the African People's Party on Black independent political action, political prisoner support, international solidarity, police abuse, and supporting transit and other workers, helping to build local 1199 union and legal services where we both worked. Salah was a senior member, a mentor, a big brother, a protector of me, and so many others. He was a martial artist, one of the founders of the African Institute of Martial Arts, a drummer, and as an ex-gang member, he played a significant role in the gang peace summits in Philadelphia. Living the principle of collective over individualism, he and Naima established the Jerome Street House collectively. Not only I grew up politically and as a person, but I and the Blood, Muhammad, and Shikuyo families. Excuse me.
It's okay. That's okay, baby. That's okay. That's all right. Take your time.
We gelled together to this day. When the booklet, The U.S. Imperialism in the Black Nation, was written, Saladin made several of us help research, write, edit paragraphs at the dining room table that he built. We learned just recently how much an impact positively we had on the whole block of Jerome Street. But I don't remember, Naima, how much housework he actually shared. But I'm sure that you can talk about it. In 1980, we followed our commitments of being where the majority of our people and moved to the South. Saladin and Naima back to their family roots here and me to Atlanta. After a few years, Saladin began working on me to move to North Carolina to be a part of the work here. We went fishing over at the Rock on Falls River. Through the Atlanta Community Radio WRFG, I covered BWFJ and interviewed folks about the work of the newly organized Black Workers for Justice, realizing supporting this is where the real work was going on. Living the principles he believed, he made it possible for Baba Sufu Abnaberi to move south and contribute to the establishing of this organization of Black workers, not some elite. He made us think, learn, struggle, grow, lead in changing North Carolina, the South, and the world, including contributing to the change in the Rocky Mount electoral system from at-large to districts. And we asked Black elected officials to please take note. He drove himself to think, learn, and write. But more than that, he believed, called upon, demanded others to learn, think, organize, write, and lead. No talented 10th%, but all of us. Organization over individualism. This commitment to collective education and leadership, no big I's and little U's. In the spirit of Saladin, we, BWFJ, continue in fighting for self-determination and power for those who speak power and self-determination. For fighting for democracy, you must have, In the spirit of Saladin, we, BWFJ, continue with fighting for self-determination and power. For those who speak of democracy, you cannot have it without those on the bottom having power and self-determination. Black lives, Black people, the majority of whom are workers. The centrality of Black working class to the Black freedom movement for national liberation, for the labor movement. For me, it's personal and political because the fights he and I had were for me to do better, to think deeper, to organize smarter, to write more, to remain focused, to have and act on vision. If I had time, I could tell you about Salo, how Salo got the representatives of the Black nation and indigenous peoples marching together, leading the anti-bicentennial march in 1976, but I don't have time. If I had time, I'd tell you about Saladin and the African Institute of Martial Arts, the gang summits, the roles he played in the anti-Rizzo and charter change struggles in Philadelphia, the Black United Front of Philadelphia, the National Black Human Rights Coalition, but we don't have time. Thanks so much more. And as a Muslim, he displayed character over ritual, humility, family. Only God is perfect, but I pray his good deeds outweigh the bad, that Allah forgives all of his sins and has a high rank in paradise for those.